Welcome, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today, because we're tackling a struggle that, let's be honest, we all know way too well. Picture this. You're staring at your screen, you've got this massive deadline looming, and suddenly you feel overwhelmingly compelled to, scrub the bathroom grout with a toothbrush, right? You put the important thing off, and almost instantly, you get that heavy, sinking feeling of guilt settling right into your stomach. Well, today, we're going to unpack exactly why our brains do this to us.
So, let me just hit you with a direct question right out of the gate. Are you just lazy? It's a heavy word, isn't it? A word that honestly haunts a lot of us. From a very young age, we're basically handed this societal script. We're told that if we aren't getting our work done, or if we're putting things off, it's a character flaw. It means we lack discipline, we lack drive, we're just lazy. It's this deeply uncomfortable insecurity we carry around, and it totally fuels that guilt I just mentioned. But is that actually what's happening inside your brain?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The procrastination myth.
We really need to completely deconstruct the guilt and shame you might be carrying right now. The script we're all handed says that procrastination equals laziness, that it's this moral failing or a lack of motivation. But the reality? Research consistently shows us that procrastination is an emotion regulation problem. It's not a moral failing, it's not even a time management issue. It is simply an inability in that very specific moment to manage the negative emotions that a certain task brings up.
And that brings us to Section 2, emotion regulation failure.
I want to be really empathetic here, because recognizing this, it honestly changes everything. The formal psychological definition of what we're dealing with is anxiety-driven avoidance. This is a failure in emotion regulation, where you avoid tasks purely because of the negative feelings they generate. Your brain perceives the task, maybe it's a blank page for a paper or some wildly complex spreadsheet. It doesn't see it as work. It sees it as a literal emotional threat. Your brain is quite literally just trying to protect you from feeling bad.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is looking at the specific emotional triggers behind this reaction. The research highlights 3 major culprits: shame, fear of failure, and perfectionism. I mean, think about it. If just starting a project makes you feel inadequate, or if your perfectionism is screaming that it absolutely has to be flawless on the very first try, that creates a massive, insurmountable wall of anxiety. So what happens? Your brain basically pulls the emergency brake and tells you to run.
Which leads us straight into Section 3, the cycle of avoidance. Let's move to and see how this builds, because why do we keep doing this when we know it ultimately hurts us? Let's do a mechanical teardown of this habit loop in the brain. Step 1, the negative emotion is triggered by the task itself. Step 2, the avoidance behavior actually kicks in, so you open up social media or you just physically walk away. Step 3, instant relief, the anxiety drops. And finally, step 4, the cycle gets reinforced because your brain essentially learns that walking away magically solves the pain.
I cannot emphasize this next point enough. Avoidance provides instant relief, and that reinforces the entire cycle. That instant relief is the critical glue holding this whole vicious trap together. In the very short term, running away actually works. Your brain gets this tiny little hit of reward, and it wires it in as a learned habit. So, you see, this isn't laziness at all. It's just an incredibly misguided strategy to feel better in the moment.
All right, let's jump into Section 4, the ultimate reframe.
So the crucial point is, if we actually want to get out of this trap, we need a fundamental mental shift. Remember this. Write it down on a sticky note if you have to. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding the feeling the task triggers. Just let that sink in for a second. This completely separates your identity from your work. The task itself, it's neutral. It's the shame or the perfectionism layered on top of it that you're actually running away from.
And this brilliantly illustrates the solution. It's simple, but it is profound. Change the emotional relationship with the task, and the behavior follows. You have to lower the stakes. Give yourself permission to write an absolutely terrible first draft. Strip away all that shame and just look at the work for exactly what it is. Because here's the magic. When the task no longer triggers anxiety, your brain totally stops seeking that instant relief. The procrastination just naturally fades away. Which leaves us with one final, pretty exciting question. If you change your emotional relationship with the task, what happens next? Seriously, think about those big projects and goals you've been putting off for months. If you stop judging yourself as lazy, and you start actually managing the emotions that are blocking your path, what could you honestly accomplish? I'm going to leave you to answer that one for yourself. Thanks so much for diving into this topic with me today, and I absolutely can't wait to explore more of these fascinating insights with you next time.